Welcome to this session. We're going to look at combinations, permutations, and factorial. How can you find a combination? How can you find a permutation? And how can you evaluate a factorial? This is what we are yet to talk about in this additional mathematics session. Okay, let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start first with, let's start with factorial, even before we can look at combinations and permutations. Let's start with factorial. Okay, what is a factorial? A factorial can be defined in this manner. Let's say you have a number, a factorial, okay, where a is equal to any numerical value, okay, where a is a number. So how can you evaluate a factorial? Okay, so let's look at this example whereby I have 3 factorial. So what does it mean? So 3 factorial simply mean that you multiply 3 by 2 by 1. Starting from 3 and ending up to 1, then you multiply the numbers in descending order, okay? So that is the interpretation. And we know that 3 times 2, that is 6, 6 times 1 is just a 6. So 3 factorial is a 6. Now let's look at, let's say you have 5 factorial. So 5 factorial also simply mean that multiply 5 by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1. 5 times 4, that is a 20, multiplied by 2 times 3 times 1, that is a 6. 20 by 6, that is a 120. Okay, so that is how you can evaluate 5 factorial. What if you have, let's say, which number can we have? Let's say 6 factorial. So 6 factorial simply mean that you multiply 6 by 5 by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1. So 6 times 5, we know that this is a 30. 30 times 4, we can say 120. So let's say 120. Okay, this is 6 by 5, this 30 by 4, 120. Then 2 times 3 times 1, that is just a 6. 120 by 6. Then you can evaluate here 120 by 6, that is 0. That is 12, 2 carry 1. That is 6 plus 1, 7. So the answer we are getting is 720. So that is 6 factorial. But you need to understand that when you have 1 factorial, what is 1 factorial? 1 factorial is just a 1. Okay? What about 0 factorial? So 0 factorial is so special. 0 factorial is also a 1. So when you have 1 factorial, it's equal to 1. 0 factorial is also equal to 1. So what if you have, let's say, if you have 4 factorial, how can you evaluate 4 factorial? This simply means that 4 you multiply by 3, you multiply by 2, you multiply by 1. So 4 by 3, that is a 12. 12 by 2 times 3, that is just a 2 times 1, that is just a 2. 12 times 2, that is a 24. So 4 factorial is equal to a 24. Okay, so that is how you can evaluate a factorial. So that is the meaning. Even when you are given 10 factorial, you just say 10 multiplied by 9, multiplied by 8, multiplied by 7, multiplied by 6, multiplied by 5, multiplied by 4, multiplied by 3, multiplied by 2, multiplied by 1. Then the answer you evaluate, that would be the final value. Okay, so that is how to go about factorial. Now let's look at combinations. What is a combination? So whenever you're dealing with combinations, you need to use a formula. Let's say you have been given n combination r. So this can be denoted in this form, or you can say n combination r like this. Okay, so n combination r is simply n factorial over n minus r factorial, then multiplied by r factorial. So that is the meaning. Let's work out this using examples. So for example, you have evaluate 8 combination 6. How can you evaluate this? So 8 combination 6 can also be written as 8 then 6 in this format. So remember, we've talked about this formula where we've said when you have n combination r, this is equal to n factorial over n minus r factorial multiplied by r factorial. Okay, so this is the formula we use. So 8 combination 6, it will be 8 factorial divide 8 minus, so this is our n, 8 is our n, r is equal to 6. So 8 minus 6, we are using this formula, then 6 factorial. So what answer are we going to get? Okay, so this will be equal to 8 factorial. Since we have 6 factorial, we can just expand this 8 factorial up to 6 factorial. Okay, remember with factorials we said it is 8 times 7, but we won't continue times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. We'll just end on 6 factorial so that it will be very easy for us to evaluate this, and there should be a factorial there. Then 8 minus 6, that is a 2, and there's a factorial multiplied by this factorial. The whole essence of ending on 6 factorial is so that this can cancel with what is on the denominator. The 6 factorial can cancel with the 6 factorial on the denominator. Okay, so what do I have? So I have 8 multiplied by 7, that is what is remaining, multiplied by 2 factorial. But 2 factorial is same as 2 times 1. Okay, so you can say 2 times 1, and this will be equal to 8 times 6, or you can divide 2 there, it's 2 into 2, it's 1, 2 into 4, 8 is 4. Then we can say 4 by 7 divided by 1, that is just 4 by 7, and 4 times 7 is a 28. So you can say that 8 combination 6 is equal to 28. So that is how to evaluate. Then let's look at another example. Let's say 4 combination 2. How can you evaluate this? So this will be equal to 4 factorial. We are using, remember, we are using the formula n factorial over n minus r, then factorial r factorial. So 4 factorial over 4 minus 2 factorial, then 2 factorial. So that would be the answer. So 4 factorial, I can expand this and end on 2 factorial, that is 4 by 3 by 2 factorial. Okay, over, then I can say 4 minus 2 factorial, that is just a 2 factorial there, then multiply by this 2 factorial. This 2 factorial can cancel with that 2 factorial. Okay, so what I'll remain with is 4 times 3 over 2 factorial is just 2 times 1. 2 there, it's 1. 2 into 2, 2 into 4 is just a 2. So I can say 2 multiplied by 3, that is a 6 over 1. And the 6 over 1 is just equal to a 6. Okay, 6 over 1 is just equal to a 6. So the answer there, you can just get rid of that, and I'll say is equal to 6. As simple as that. That is how to evaluate. Then let's look at another example. Let's say I have 20 combination 18 like this. How can you evaluate this? So this will be equal to 20 factorial over 20 minus 18 factorial multiplied by 18 factorial. What would be the result? 20 factorial, let me write it here. 20 factorial, I can evaluate 20, I can expand rather 20 factorial and then on 18 factorial. Okay, so I can say 20 multiplied by 19 multiplied by 18 factorial. Then on the denominator I have 20 minus 18, that is a 2 factorial multiplied by 18 factorial. Then 18 factorial can cancel with that 18 factorial. What I have is 20 by 19 divided by a 2 factorial. So let me write it here. So this is equal to 20 by 19 over 2 factorial. So 2 factorial is just 2 times 1. So I can just say multiply by, you can just say 2 by 1. 2 there, into 2 it's 1. 2 into 20 is a 10. So what I have is 10 multiplied by 19 over 1 over 1. So this will be equal to 10 multiplied by 19. That's just a 190 divided by 1. That is a 190. So that is the answer of 20 combination 18. Let's look at what about 6 combination 3. So 6 combination 3 simply means 6 factorial over 6 minus 3 factorial, then 3 factorial. I can expand this 6 factorial and end on 3 factorial by saying 6 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by 3 factorial over 3 minus 6 minus 3 factorial, that is just a 3 factorial multiplied by a 3 factorial. Excuse me. That 3 factorial and that 3 factorial can cancel out. So what do I remain with? So what I'm going to remain with is this. So I'm going to remain with 6 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 4 over 3 factorial. But 3 factorial is just 3 times 2 times 1. Then I can divide 2 there, it's 2 into 2, it's 2. 4 divided by 2, that is a 2. 4 into 2 rather, it's a 1, not a 2, sorry. Then 3 into 3, it's 1. 3 into 6 is a 2. So what am I going to remain with? I'm going to remain with 2 times 5 times a 2. On the denominator we just have 1. So what is it giving now? So this will be equal to 2 times 5, that is a 10. 10 multiplied by 2 divided by 1. So 10 multiplied by 2, that is a 20. Divided by 1 is just a 20. So the answer is a 20. Now let's look at permutations. So for permutations Permutations are defined by this formula. So when you're talking about, let's say, n permutation r, so this simply means you have n factorial over n minus r factorial. So this is it about permutations, just n factorial over n minus r factorial. Let's deal with examples for better understanding. Okay, so let's say you have 7 combination, permutation. We are dealing with permutation now. Permutation 6. What's the answer? So we've said when you have n permutation r, this is equal to n factorial over n minus r factorial. So we are going to say 7 factorial over 7 minus 6, which is r factorial. So n is always, you just compare, n is 7 there, okay, r is a 6 there. So this is how you compare. So n is always the number on top, which is the 7, r is the number, the superscript at the bottom, okay, then the subscript at the bottom, then n is the superscript on top there. So that is the meaning. Alright, so let's now evaluate this. So this is a permutation, so I'm going to say 7 factorial is just a 7 multiplied by, I'm strategically ending on, okay, so let's evaluate the entire thing, because 7 minus 6 is just a 1, so we need just to evaluate 7 times 6 by 5 by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1. Okay, should be by 1. Let me just write this properly. So this is same as saying 7 by 6 by 5 by 4 by 3 by 2 by 1 over 7 minus 6, that is a 1 over 1 factorial. 1 factorial just said it's just a 1, okay. So we can now multiply 7 by 6, that is a 42, multiplied by 5 times 4, that is a 20 there, 20 by 3, that is a 60, 60 times 2, that is a 120, 120 by 1 is just a 120. So we just evaluate 42 multiplied by 120, divided by 1 is just 42 multiplied by 120, okay. So let's expand that, let's evaluate that rather. So we have 120 multiplied by 42, so 0 multiplied by 0, that is a 0, 2 times 2, that is a 4, 4 times 1, that is a 4, 4 times 0, that is a 0, 4 times 2, that is an 8, 4 times 1, that is just a 4. So we add now, so we add, that is 0, that is a 4, that is 4 plus 8, that is a 12, 2 carry 1, 4 plus the remainder, which was 1, that is a 5. So the answer we are getting is 5,240. So that is the answer, it is 5,240. Okay, so that is 7 permutation 6. So that is the answer. Let's look at another example. Let's say you have 4 permutation 2. How can you evaluate this? So you say 4 factorial over 4 minus 2 factorial. So this will be equal to 4 factorial over 4 minus 2 is just a 2, so it will be 2 factorial. On this one, I can strategically end on 2 factorial by expanding 4 factorial, okay? So this will be equal to 4 factorial is just a 4 multiplied by 3. I'll end strategically on 2 factorial so that it can cancel with the 2 factorial on the denominator. That and that can cancel out. So we have 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is just a 12. So 4 permutation 2 is a 12. Let's look at another scenario whereby you have, let's say, 6 permutation 1. What is the answer? So it will be 6 factorial over 6 minus 1 factorial. So this will be equal to 6 factorial over 6 minus 1, that is a 5, so it will be 5 factorial. I can evaluate this as 6 multiplied by 5 factorial over 5 factorial. The 5 factorial can cancel out with 5 factorial. Go to just remain with a 6, because 5 factorial divided by 5 factorial is just a 1. 1 times 6 is just a 6. So that is how we can evaluate that. Now let's say you have 100 let's say you have 100 permutation. Let's say 100 permutation. You can say permutation 99. What is the answer? Okay, for this we are going to say this is equal to, not permutation 99, that is okay, permutation 1. This will be equal to 100 factorial over 100 minus 1 factorial. Okay, so this will be equal to 100 factorial over 100 minus 1, that is a 99 factorial. So this will be equal to, we can strategically expand 100 multiplied by 99, then we say factorial over 99 factorial, so that the 99 factorial and the 99 factorial can divide to give 1. So this will be equal to just 100. Divided by 1 is just 100. So the answer is 100. So that's how you can evaluate permutation. Let's look at another example. Let's say you have 5 permutation 3. So 5 permutation 3 is 5 factorial over 5 minus 3 factorial. Okay, so this will be equal to 5 factorial over 5 minus 3, that is a 2 factorial. I can strategically expand 5 factorial to end on 2 factorial by saying 5 by 4 by 3 by 2 factorial divided by 2 factorial. So 5 times 4, that is a 20. 20 times 3, that is a 60. So 60, 2 factorial and 2 factorial cancel out. So the answer is just a 60. Okay, so this is how you can evaluate factorial, permutation, and combination. If you found this video to be helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, so that each time a new video like this is uploaded, you'll be notified. Share and also comment. You can comment on any topic you want us to make another video on. Feel free to comment, to make any comments. Thank you for watching.